Hey guys, Fetz here from 11 Bravo Gaming with a strategy video for you. This time we are doing rush attack on Paracel Storm. I'm going to be covering some routes and some tips that I found useful. When I first started playing Battlefield 4 and this map in particular, I found it to be one of the more challenging maps to attack on in rush. So hopefully you'll find these tips helpful in attacking. The first thing we're looking at here is kind of an underused or less known about option. There are some hallways underneath the ship that flood in and out, kind of a levolution thing, or the way the map changes. They're very useful for cutting off the enemy spawn. So what you see me do right away is get in on the tunnel from the RCB that Wretched Cookie's in, and I get up here and I kind of pick up this head glitch spot. It's not really a head glitch, but it does provide me some cover. And I have a pretty accurate weapon in the M416, the way I have it set up. So I can kind of sit here and just pick them off as they come out of their spawn. That's crucial for letting the rest of your team push up behind you and arm those MCOMs. It's nice to get a couple people up here with you to help you out in case you die, or there's just too many people to deal with, because they can flood down to you pretty fast when you're at this spot. So I would have liked to have had some more people here. I do get some help from some randoms. Unfortunately, it was just Wretched Cookie and myself in the squad. I do want you to pay attention. There's a squad mate, Big Cookies is his name. We don't know him. We've never played with him before, but he spends a lot of the game repairing the RCB for Wretched Cookie. Does a fantastic job, and that's actually crucial on this map. If you can get a good RCB team going, it's actually pretty difficult to win without that. So it's pretty important. I'm going to talk a lot about the RCB here coming up. We take the first MCOM, which I find to be one of the easy ones to defend unless your team can flank. So in addition to that route I showed you, it's really important to attack from multiple angles on that MCOM. And using RCB effectively is important. Chopper as well, which we didn't really need as much. Take a look at the spawn menu here. You can see we've actually got a guy in the water repairing the RCB for Wretched Cookie. I didn't know that you could do that, but that's really useful because it can be tricky to repair them from within the boat. At this point, I spawn in with Wretched Cookie after taking that first set of MCOMs, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time in the RCB now. What I'm going to do the rest of the game, for the rest of the MCOMs after the first one, is spend a mixture of my time gunning in the RCB and getting out and actually rushing the MCOM at times when it's needed. So kind of like what you saw me do at the first MCOM, I cut off the enemy spawn with my rifle on the boat. We're now using the RCB to do that same thing. We're cutting off the enemy spawn. They spawn up here on this side of this island, and we park the RCB here and we start cutting them off coming out of their spawn so our team can move up and plant the MCOMs. And there's very little that they can do to go defuse the MCOMs when they have to deal with us. Big Cookies is crucial in the way he's repairing, because they're pretty aggressive in trying to come after us, and that's what they need to do. But we're a pretty effective team in the RCB. Wretched Cookie and I have been doing this pilot and gunner combination in one form or another since Bad Company 2. So just like when I get into a vehicle like a tank with Corrupt, when I get into a vehicle with Wretched Cookie, it's very intuitive and we're very effective. So here you see us flank around the other side of the island. We allowed our team to take Bravo using the RCB to cover them. Now we're going to push the RCB over to this side and allow our team to take Alpha. It's absolutely critical that you keep this RCB, this attack boat, alive. You can see they're pounding away at us with RPGs, with rockets, with whatever they can, because at this point a significant number of them have been killed by us and they're pissed off. They know what they need to do is kill the attack boat, but that's easier said than done when you have a good crew. These things are right now in the game, as of when I'm recording this, are extremely powerful. They're not invincible, but they're very much like the attack choppers were in Battlefield 3 early on. If you get a good crew in them, they're extremely difficult to take out. Now, Wretched Cookie's a smart boat driver, pilot, we'll call him. He doesn't get too aggressive. He knows when to retreat, and he knows where to place the boat to allow us to be effective without being too much in danger. You know, not being too close to the MCOMs is one of the keys to that. Here we're just using the attack boat to soften some hardened targets. We're not actually directly supporting the MCOM at this point, but we're pulling some of their team off of the MCOM, but we're softening those hard targets from the side. Now we're going to move back around to the MCOM and put some direct fire on it and help our team out. They're still coming pretty aggressively after us, and pretty soon you're going to see me get a little bit more involved infantry wise. But on this map you can just see how much of a distraction we are by keeping this attack boat alive as long as we have. One of the things about Rush that's really fun is this kind of ability as the attacker to dictate the pace of the game. So in Conquest or other game modes, you can kind of be forced to take action when you're not ready to. In Rush, when you're attacking, one of your advantages is that you can dictate the pace. You can pull back, you can attack. You don't lose tickets unless you're aggressive and attack. This can be a double-edged sword. If your teammates are blindly aggressive, if they're attacking, you know, well, so I call it trickling in. If they're kind of just pouring in one or two guys at a time and die over and over and over again and continue to trickle in, then you lose a lot of tickets. But if you all sit back, you let your vehicles spawn in and get up to health, and you all push in as a wave, it's far more effective. Most experienced Rush players understand this. It can be hard to get your team coordinated to do it, but you know, it is what's required. So here you can see Wretched Cookie just kind of putting the boat in a good position, continuing to soften up those targets. I spawn in, and the RCB is a mobile spawn point. Another huge advantage of it, it's like the transport chopper. But at this point I recognize that while we're doing a good job of suppressing and softening targets, we're not actually getting anyone on the MCOM. So I get on foot, I'm running the assault class, and I'm pretty sure I'm suppressed, especially on rush attack and rush defense, but mostly rush attack. I really like running a suppressor because I don't like to show up on the mini-map if I can help it. There's still going to be things you do that show up on the mini-map, you get spotted, but I like to minimize and mitigate that risk. So use these trenches for cover here. This set of MCOMs shouldn't be too difficult. The first set can be really difficult, and then the last set can be really difficult as well. So there's some things we did to make that one go a little quicker. We'll talk about here shortly. But I'm finding on Battlefield 4 I really enjoy Rush because it's the player count seems right, and there's not as much lag in it as I've experienced so far in Conquest. So a lot of you might not even be Rush players if your main experience with Battlefield is Battlefield 3. Conquest was a lot better in Battlefield 3 than Rush. If you go back to Bad Company 2 the way I do, Rush was a really good game mode in Bad Company 2. I'm not sure when Rush was introduced in the Battlefield series, how long it's been around. I know Conquest is a staple of it, but I know that in Bad Company 2 I played a lot on PlayStation 3 and then Xbox 360, and all we played was Rush for the most part, and we just thought it was great. Those maps were really good Rush maps. So it's nice to get back to Rush in Battlefield 4, and I've been really enjoying it. We're about to set up on this last set of MCOMs here. One of the keys to this is that you normally don't get the attack boat on the last set of MCOMs. The trade-off is it makes it harder for Wretched Cookie to provide cover because it's not really designed around the attack boat the way the other MCOMs are. But what we do is push the attack boat up, and I get out of the boat on foot, and I'm hoping to blitz Bravo on this. I want to get to Bravo so fast that they don't really know how we got there that quick. The key to that is that I'm probably going to be alone or with one other player the way we're set up. I have to be able to get my kills. Like, this is one of those times when personal skill become really important. So I take out several guys up here. I do get some team members that come up with me, which is great. I'm glad they were aggressive with me. It would have been even better had I had a full squad. Like you saw Krub just join the game a little bit ago, or join the party. He was just getting on to get his night started when we were playing this. Having some more players would have been good, but I'm able to clear off that hilltop around Bravo. At this point, it's kind of a little bit of a shock and awe tactic because they're on their heels already. We've pushed them back to the last MCOM, which rarely happens on Paracel Storm. And then we arm that last MCOM so fast that they can't cover the other one. So that's the game. I'm going to show the scoreboard. Wretched Cookie has an amazing score in this game. Really shows you the power of the RCB, of the attack boat, especially like this. It's really a lot like the attack chopper was on like Karg Island in Battlefield 3, where you can just dominate. So I don't know if they'll make any balancing changes to it. I actually think it's right where it should be, as far as like risk and reward with using it. I think some of the other vehicles are just a little weak compared to it. So he goes 34-0. I go 12-3. Look at Big Cookie's third on the team. All he did was sit in that boat and repair for us. It was fantastic. So if he happens to see this, big thanks to him. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and got some good tips out of it. For 11 Bravo Gaming, this is Fetz, and I'm out.